Hey everyone, it's Preston Clark. It is the top of the hour. We are 1 minute after, in fact. I'm going to go ahead and jump right into this. I turned the chat on. We're expecting 20 or 30 people here today. If you're so inclined and want to say hi and let me know where you're joining us today, that would be great. We are going to record this session. There'll be a few slides, but mostly this is going to be a live demo and sort of we're talking about SimpleAI 2.0. So I'll be giving you sort of real updates on how the product functionality works. If you have questions as we go here, feel free to just interject. This is a one-man show today, so I'm going to be live demoing. I'm going to be answering questions. And so if you see me sort of pause and go in between, that is why. Christina from North Carolina, hello. Akshat from India, hello. Thanks for being here. Oh, great. We've already exceeded our attendance. We're already up to 30. So I'm going to go ahead and jump right into this. And again, I'll share some slides after the webinar, but slides are going to be pretty limited today. But mostly this is going to be a live presentation. And so you will get this recording. And we're going to do these on a continuous monthly basis. So if you need to cut out for this one, or if you want your team to join us next time, they'll be able to do so. Okay, let us jump in. Let me share my screen. I will ask confirmation that the screen share is working okay. So again, this is going to be a live demo. We're going to walk through things, but let me just do some high level introduction of what we're going to talk about today. We have new standard playbooks that have been added. You may have tested these already. We encourage you, even if you tested them, we released them in some of them in beta. Some of the playbooks were in beta a month ago, but if you haven't tested them in the last 2 or 3 days, we encourage you to do that. One DPA and one SaaS specifically, they've been refined. They're functioning better than they were before. And these are based, for those of you that are not familiar, on the Law Insider standards powered by Electra, the team that initially conceived one NDA. The one NDA playbook is already there. It's functioning very well. But one DPA, one SaaS. One SaaS is a cloud service agreement. DPA is a DPA. We now have broad-based chat, which I'll show you today, that is really powerful and is functioning incredibly well. We also have broad-based redlining. This is maybe the most powerful feature that I'm going to show you today. We're adding send and sign. This is the ability to, once you've completed the negotiation and you're ready to move this back through to signature, we have integrations with our workflow automation and with eSign that allow you to expedite that process. So you're not downloading, uploading, sending, waiting for them to come back, waiting to upload it to DocuSign. It all encapsulates that into a single workflow. And then I'll talk a little bit today about what's coming soon, in particular, multi-document analysis. We're now weeks away from this. Coupled with PDF, but we've seen lots of customer requests that enable that where you want to enable your team to upload either a package of documents relating to a specific deal. So you might have an MSA, a DPA, an SLA, and you want those analyzed together and redlined together. Now, keep in mind, Microsoft Word sort of has its own constraints. So when we talk about multi-document review, generally we're instructing you to go on platform for that instead of in Microsoft, because Microsoft, if you're going to use it as a redlining tool, it is designed primarily for a document by document experience. And so assuming that many of you want to move away from that, we will be enabling that capability. This also allows for the analysis of 100 documents or 1,000 documents that you will upload and that AI will process. And then you can ask in natural language things like, show me all of the agreements that have non-assignment provisions. So maybe you're in an M&A environment, or show me all of the contracts that have auto renew or term for convenience or whatever it may be. So that level of analysis is coming with the ability to upload and process with AI. Law Insider Index Score, this is going to be announced officially at Legal Week. on the 24th, so 13 days from now, which is super exciting. And I'll tell you what it is now. I'll give you a little bit of a preview today, but it's going to be integrated into the AI review tool. But the description of it is that Law Insider, which I also co-founded, as many of you may know, is for 10 plus years has been this incredible repository of millions and millions of public contracts and clauses. And out of that, we have enabled an index that basically scores how standard a certain clause is, either at the whole contract level, like are clauses missing from this contract or are clauses included that normally are not, but also at the individual clause level to say, does this mutual indemnification clause or does this termination clause in an employment agreement or whatever it is it consistent with the Law Insider database? And this sort of allows you to do two things. It allows you to draft new language and then test it against the Law Insider Index. Did I just draft something that is likely to be rejected because it is so non-standard? But it also allows you to score third-party clauses. So when a third-party agreement comes in, you'll get a score that compares it to the Law Insider Index. So this is coming in 13 days. We're going to announce it, but I wanted to give you a preview of it now. And then we're just launching more playbooks. We have you always will have the ability, as I'll show you today, to create your own custom playbooks from scratch. But more expert playbooks are coming off the line that are based on both best practices, Law Insider data, and Electra and her team at Law Insider, who are just building out an incredible library of these tools. So that is the overview. Let's jump in. I'm going to go to questions really quickly. As I mentioned at the start, I'm going to be sort of navigating between these two. Let's see. Greetings from Paris. Wonderful. Thanks, Raphael. Okay, good. I think we're good. So again, I'm a one-man show here today, so I'll be jumping in between questions as they come in, but don't be shy. If you have questions, we will address them. Okay, so I'm going to start with sort of the back end first. These aren't where the major updates are, but I know some of you are not yet familiar with SimpleAI. SimpleDocs is a contract lifecycle management platform. We do lots of things that are beyond the scope of drafting and redlining, which is what we're going to talk about today. But if you're sort of disoriented by how many buttons and options there are on this screen, there's just a lot more here than what we're going to talk about today. So I'll leave it at that. This is the back end. This is the Playbook Builder. This is not massively remarkable. We're not the only ones to ever do this, but it is very, very easy to use. You can create a new playbook, you can give it a title, you indicate document type, and then you start identifying the issues you want the AI to review the contract for. This could be based on a custom playbook, or you can build this from scratch. So I will go into my NDA playbook. This is, we do some training events at the University of Miami School of Law. And so we were building this one as a part of a class exercise. And this is for an NDA. So not, an incredibly complicated agreement, but an easy one for law students to configure. And we're setting individual rules. So liquidated damages is my item. It's my issue. And then my AI rule or my instruction is we don't accept liquidated damages in an NDA where present, remove entirely. Once removed, add comment to redline that as a matter of policy, we don't accept liquidated damages. The response type is redline, and this is an active review item, which means it's turned on. Okay, what does that all mean? It means that we've just codified a rule for our Microsoft Word add-in, which I'm going to show you in a moment. If you're like, what the heck is this, Preston? I'm going to show you what this looks like on the front end. But when you're configuring a playbook, this is what it looks like on the back. And what's great for those of you who may have adopted AI tools 2 years ago that were far less advanced, where you were having to put in a lot of if-then, sort of, well, if it says this, then do this. The beauty of OpenAI and other large language models is that we can be very direct, but also concise. And so we don't accept liquidated damages in an NDA. A lot has to happen in order for that sentence to do what we need it to do, which means that the AI has to find liquidated damages in all its forms. It has to know what an NDA is. It has to find it. It has to redline it out, and then it has to add a comment that is contextual to that removal. And so I'm going to show you what this looks like in a moment. But this is our back end, and I encourage you, if you have not tested this out, you can go to simpledocs.com. Under our products umbrella, you can go to SimpleAI and you can try this for free. So if you haven't done this yet, I encourage you to do so. There's some great demos here. There's some great resources of sort of how this works. There's a demo video featuring yours truly. So here are some resources that you can use after the webinar. That are available to you. Okay, let's get back into the platform, or better yet, let's jump in now into the tool itself. So I'm going to stop sharing. I'm going to switch over to Word, and here is the part that you have been waiting for. Okay, so um, I I'm looking at the attendee list. We have great numbers, so I do really appreciate. We had 41. I think I was expecting 20 or 25. So thank you for being here with me today. Um, I'm going to show you review, draft, and redline. I'm going to show you what it looks like to apply a playbook. I'm going to show you what it looks like to configure a standard playbook. And then I'm going to briefly touch on requests, which is our send and sign functionality, which is available as part of our contract management, our contract management workflow. So um, I'm going to start in the middle. I'm going to start with playbooks and just show you that this is where, when you are logged in, you will have visibility into all of your playbooks, both your standard playbooks, which I have one NDA, I have DPA, I have one SaaS. So many more are coming in the next week ahead of our launch at Legal Week. But these are all here now. When you expand these, so I'm just expanded one SaaS, I can see what constitutes this playbook. What are the issues? Force majeure, indemnification, waiver, all of these items have a set of rules beneath them. This agreement may be executed in counterparts, each with the same effect as a single original. Let's see, let's find another one. Indemnification. The provider indemnifies the customer for intellectual property infringement claims. So these are issues that you may fundamentally disagree with, or you may say these are not important when I'm running this cloud service agreement playbook. You may also just decide to build your own. But if you want to use these standards, you can always turn them off to configure this to your exact needs. There's also going to be several within each standard playbook. There's going to be several variants that can be configured that are absolutely unique to your business. And so in this case, I've expanded one further. I see it says one SaaS on top. And this is incredible functionality. The amount of work that went into this is enormous, because what had to happen is Electra and her team had to establish a standard with a steering committee, go through weeks and weeks of review, turn that standard into a template, and then codify that template into a set of rules, and then design those rules in a way that can be productized inside a tool like ours, where now someone like you, a user, can go in and configure it. So you can make changes to these different options relating to publicity. You can change your governing law, whatever it may be. But this allows you to create a sort of, we don't call this a custom version, we call this a configured version of these standard playbooks. And again, we're going to be loading in, I want to say 5 to 7 additional playbooks, standard playbooks, in the next 13 days. So keep an eye out for this. If you aren't using the tool already, expect some pretty rapid changes in that regard. Okay, so now let's actually run this. And so I'm going to go to my review tab where all of my playbooks are listed. For demo purposes, it's really easy to show one NDA, but I encourage you to test all of the standard playbooks. I also encourage you to create your own to see what that looks like. I have my one NDA playbook selected. I have a mutual non-disclosure agreement here on the left. So we're going to go ahead and start the review now. I'm going to rerun this because I had run this previously today on another call. Okay, so we have our compliance bar up top. For many of you who haven't used the product in a few weeks, this is new. This is basically sort of assessing what percentage of the issues that we have instructed the AI to review are compliant with your playbook, or in this case, the one NDA playbook. I'm going to wait till it gets to 100%, which should just be another second. Maybe it gets stalled on one, so I'll start scrolling down here now. I see issues that have been redlined. I see some flags. I'll get to the bottom, and there are 19 total issues. So it's worked through all of those. 48% compliant, 52% need to be resolved. And so let's go through it. Let's just go through a couple of them. And a lot of this is not new, but for those that are just getting acquainted with the tool, I'll go through it quickly. You can click on this. It'll take you to the section of the agreement where that issue is coming up. In this case, the term length exceeds our policy. And so I'm going to apply that rule, and we can see the red lines immediately modify. Lots of issues can be ignored, can be accepted. You can decide as you're going through. As a general practice, what our customers do when they get comfortable with the tool is that they just apply everything and then they go back through and analyze it. So they're doing a first review, almost like you were handing this to a first year associate and who's doing it for the first pass, and then you're going to go audit that work. This is a fast way to get through the documentation. I'm going to ignore some, I'm going to accept some. Um, Okay, in this case, I'm going to regenerate because the AI had trouble with this one, which it allows you to do. Indemnity, we don't accept indemnity as a matter of policy. Liquidated damages, we don't accept as a matter of policy. So some of these are very standard, and I think you will agree with. But again, we're not a sort of espousing a certain playbook. We want to give you a starting point. You can, of course, modify this to fit your needs, but we know many of you one of the biggest challenges to adoption that we've seen, and let me know if this resonates with you, is that either you don't have a playbook, in which case, knowing that there's a standard back playbook generated by Law Insider is sort of some comfort that you can start using the tool right away. And the second scenario is that you have a playbook, but you realize that the way it's worded is very much for attorney to attorney consumption. If this happens, then do this. But oh, hold on, if something comes up like this, take it to John in finance, and like all of these sort of like very casual, informal, or they may be formal structurally, but informally written set of instructions that are very normal to share with an attorney, but that don't codify very well in AI. And so by giving you examples, not only are we giving you a starting point, it also helps you see what a well-structured AI prompt looks like. So hopefully that made sense. Let me close this out now so you can see the sidebar as well. You can add comments. This can be in your language or in your words, so the exact phrasing is there. My single favorite part about building this product and selling this product is that for whatever I tell you today, no matter how great I tell that you this is great, you're going to love it, I cannot oversell this to you because you are going to try it. We're going to let you try it. You can try it for free. And either it's going to work in a way that you say definitively, this is better, this is faster, this is sufficiently accurate to adopt this tool, or you're going to say categorically, it doesn't work. I don't like the results, but I don't have to sort of sell you on that. So really my job here is to walk you through what's new and then let you decide if the new aspects are beneficial, but hopefully through testing. So don't take my word for it. Definitely test the tool as I mentioned. Okay, so we went through a full review cycle. All the issues are closed. I will jump over to chat now, but I just want to acknowledge that within a few seconds, you can process a document of 2 pages or 20 pages. And again, every issue that has been identified is now cleared. And that's sort of our goal is how do we get to 100% compliance? The chat functionality is much more of an open mechanism to interface with the document. And there are ways that coming in the coming days where you'll be able to draft using the Law Insider database in conjunction with AI. There's broad, sort of review that can be done through here that is AI powered. And then the redlining tool is perhaps the most dynamic and sort of the newest big feature we have to share with you today, which allows, instead of doing a playbook, it allows me to just broadly interface with this document. And so I'll do something that is sort of unorthodox, but I think will illustrate the point, is I'm going to say, make this mutual NDA a unilateral NDA. I know you wouldn't do this as a lawyer. If you needed a unilateral, you just go back to opposing counsel and say, hey, we need this to be unilateral instead of mutual. But it illustrates the point that you can, in a very concise set of words, instruct the document or instruct the AI to modify the document. And then what happens is all of these changes can be applied directly. And so you're watching all of these red lines occur now within the document as a result of these changes. So this is a very sweeping way, or it could be very precise, right? I can go to draft and say, draft a mutual indemnification clause. And in so doing, it's going to give me the ability now to inject this into the document. So insert a cursor. So I can say, hey, I want to do this right here at section 10. And you can see it immediately carries over. So you have lots of capabilities here now that did not exist before that allow you to interface in the event that you don't have a playbook or where you just want to get another view. You can also just interface with the document and say, show me all the areas in this NDA that are potentially problematic. And this is going to get way more sophisticated again with the announcement of the Law Insider integration, where when I say problematic or when I say, is inconsistent with the Law Insider index, it's now comparing against a data set rather than just running it against the large language model, which, by the way, is still pretty dang good. And I suspect many of you are using this or doing this already, but maybe in a ChatGPT or other environment, and then sort of have two screens up. So at very least, this is a more efficient way to get to this sort of analysis, but also with the added integration with Law Insider, you're going to get a sort of a richer view and a very unique view, right? Because the Law Insider data set is, we've been doing it for 13 years, and it's an incredibly high quality indicator of what is standard. I see a question came in, so I'm going to pause here briefly and see what this is. Yeah, okay. Akshat asked, do we have the ability to interface with AI and rephrase a suggestion for asserting different levels of strictness or formality or articulation and other features? So right now you do in sort of the basic flow of this. So I could sort of start over and say draft um, uh, a liquidated damages provision, and let's see what it gives us. And then I can say, okay, so it gave me brackets for specified amount, if you can see that. And so I'm just going to see what happens if I say, make specified amount put 100,000 US. Now let's see what it does. Okay, so in this way, the answer is yes. So it instantly modified it. I can say make this clause more favorable to our side. So you can interface in that way and continue to produce more refined results. What's coming, and thank you for that prompt, is let me clear this out, or let me finish the AI run, and then I'll show you what else is coming. This is great too. It's going to give you a summary of the changes, and which is always good for taking it back to the counterparty. Okay, let me clear this. What's coming is the ability to, well, this is already run, but if I was to rerun this now, where issues come up, Akshat, is that I can actually go into the exact place where the proposed change is occurring and use AI to instruct it to reanalyze or to produce a different result. And so, basically right here, right beneath these individual results, there's going to be a box that I can say, hey, for this section, do something different. So you have this sort of refined version. We know for many of our customers, they're just like, run the playbook, get us through to the end, and then we'll make modifications. But we know on a deal by deal basis, there may be a need to tweak something or modify something using AI or using just instructions. So you will have the ability to interface directly issue by issue. So hopefully that's responsive. That was a really good question. Okay. Um, let's see if there was another question that came in. Understood. This is brilliant and exactly what I was hoping to find. Excited for future releases. Great. Wonderful. Um, Rosario, do paid members of Law Insider have access to this playbook? So there will be some announcements coming on the 24th that are, you know, confidentially very, very favorable to that question. So there's going to be new capabilities launched in partnership between Law Insider and SimpleDocs, which gives AI capabilities to the Law Insider audience. I'll give you sort of a preview of one of those features now, but more is coming. So, if you're wondering sort of the relationship between Law Insider and SimpleDocs, I'll take just 2 minutes on that. Many, many years ago, I was an in-house attorney. When I left that, I started Law Insider. It's been almost 15 years. And that business has grown 11,000 customers. It's a great business, but it has been largely focused on surfacing public contract data, clauses, defined terms, contract templates themselves, and used in this very copy and paste format. What is coming, and this is relevant. So even if you don't care about Law Insider, this is relevant to where Simple AI is going to. So I promise this will be a worthwhile detour. Um, when I head over here, and it's going to give me I'm going to hit a gate here in a second because I'm not logged in. So I'm going to need to log in 1 second. Okay. So if you have Law Insider, you can go to lawinsider.com/chat. This is in beta. This is like super beta. Like this is like, don't tell your friends about it yet. It's in such beta, but you will see where we are headed with this combination of LLMs or specifically OpenAI and Law Insider. And this same experience is going to exist inside the Simple AI chat. So if you're like, wait a minute, Preston, I've totally lost you. I'm showing you now a web browser experience where you can generate clauses. You already have the ability to generate clauses inside Simple AI, as I just showed you inside the Word add-in. What is coming is the Law Insider powered version of this inside Simple AI, which is just better, qualitatively better results, but it's also going to give you the Law Insider index. So let me show you what this looks like. Please draft a mutual indemnification clause. So instead of using Law Insider as a search engine, you can use it as a generate engine. And it's going to give you a starting point. You can still interface with this language. So where it says like party A or party B, you can say, hey, Simple Docs, Law Insider, you can say whatever you want. But the part that I want to draw your attention to, which is just crazy powerful, and I'm like, of all the things I've been excited about here, this is the biggest, and I have a lot to be excited about. What this is it scores the Law Insider index against this agreement and will take you to other agreements where a similar clause exists in the wild. And so if you were like, gosh, I like using LLMs because it's a really fast way to get to a proposed liquidated damages provision, but I have anxiety because I don't know if there's just like this hallucination event has occurred. I don't know, like, I'm like, should I trust this thing at all? Well, here you can do it. You can go draft it. It's giving me an 88 score. I can go actually to the agreement where this indemnification lives. So if I really want to go deep on it and say, where did this come from? I can do that. And that's something that you can't get with OpenAI. It's not something that you can get just in sort of general AI tools because the comparison of real data with the link all the way through to the contract source is not available. So hopefully someone here is like doing backflips because they're so excited. I know that probably half of you are like, what the heck is Preston even talking about? But some of you, the ones who know Law Insider and SimpleAI, will appreciate the magic of this combination. Okay. And then you can keep going, right? So I've drafted this mutual indemnification, and I'm going to say, please make this, you know, um, I don't know, more concise. Someone can give me an idea of what to put in here. If you're curious, I can run this. You can also do this right now. You can go to lawinsider.com/chat. Again, I just caution you that this is very, very early in the beta. So okay, I asked it, for a change, and now I'm at 80, and I have one similar example that I can compare it to. And here it is. And this one actually doesn't even link out. So I actually don't love the quality of this one. So I'm less inclined to use this now as a result. And so these are ways that you can interface with Law Insider today, but soon within Simple AI as well. So let me pause there. I want to get back to the tool. Keep the questions coming. Let's see what we have. Oh yeah, thanks, Rosario. I'm glad that was responsive. Um, so the other feature that I want to show quickly here is what we call requests. And this is an advanced feature that is not going to be interesting to everybody, but we know that in very high volume investment banking, private equity, manufacturing, areas where you're just moving an incredibly high volume of the same paper over and over again, but that requires 20% of the time, 30% of the time, some actual redlining, that there's a huge delay that transpires as a result of you needing to get this agreement now all the way through to signature. And so what you're going to be able to do is get a clean document, meeting of the minds have been met, you're ready to now sign, and you're going to be able to create a request that immediately is routed for review and for signature. And so what this looks like on the back end, if you'll humor me for another moment here, is we have uh, workflow automations that have all sorts of routing rules built into them that have eSign integration with, you name it, DocuSign, Dropbox Sign, Adobe Sign, and you then get to set these routing rules. Who the signer is going to be on your side? Is there an additional legal approval layer that is required? So these are all of the configurations that will exist in the back that allow you then to just take an agreement that is ready to be signed inside Microsoft Word and send it out to the counterparty for review and signature. And then once this is routed, you'll be able to see it in the request view. You'll be able to say, okay, this agreement has these terms. These are the sort of how many versions there have been. This is a summary of the red lines. So it's tracking the history of your negotiation. So you'll see that in the feed. You'll know if one party is signed, if the other party is pending, if it's pending signature with the other. So it's going to give you this incredible visibility. And then, of course, wonderfully, you also will have a dashboard that shows the speed with which it got to signature. And so it's a bit of a bridge from just an AI redlining and review tool, which may be all you need. But we know that some of you need that last mile where you're like, gosh, we're doing so many of these agreements. And even after we're done negotiating it, it's still taking 2 or 3 days to finally get signed, and then I got to go track it down in DocuSign, and then I got to go move it over and upload it into our repository, and then still I have no visibility into how long all of that actually took. And so that new feature that integrates the negotiation history with the ability to route for signature is what's also coming on March 24th. So if you're interested in that, when it comes available, let me know and we can sort of do a full live demo and give you a full experience and a pilot on it. But I think we're very, very excited to have folks start testing that out. Okay. I think that is the bulk of what I wanted to cover. Let me go back to my list and see if I missed anything. Um, we talked about one DPA and one SaaS. I mentioned that more playbooks are coming. We looked at chat and redlining and that sort of open review. We just talked about send and sign. I gave you a preview of multi-document analysis and PDF analysis that is coming in the next few weeks. We talked about the Law Insider Index score. I gave you the live demo with the Law Insider /chat. And then I let you know that just more playbooks are coming. What else can I tell you? We have some free tickets available for Legal Week. So if you are in New York or if you plan to be in New York on the 24th and want to join us, you can send me a note. Um, if you want to see how the workflow automation works, and you haven't already tested it out, or it just hasn't, it's been a while, you can go to lawinsider.com. I'll give you the link for it. Excuse me, simpledocs.com/sign up. And that will give you the ability to create a free account. So you can see what it would look like to automate all the way through to signature. Let me put this in the sidebar. That's where you can sign up. If you want to see some video demos or try a free version of the Word add-in, if you've not done that yet, I'm going to put this into chat also. That is right there. And then the last thing, if you have never used a Word add-in before, uh, this is sort of maybe a new or sort of a foreign experience for you. And so I will give you the direct link to the App Store where you can download the Word add-in. And I know some of you are with larger organizations. So that's one more link I just put in there. This will take you to a page that looks like this or this exact page. This is where the Word add-in exists, and you do need to download it. You may be prevented from downloading it. And so I would just sort of tell you that if that is the case, that you'll need to get approval internally. That doesn't have anything to do with Law Insider or SimpleDocs specifically, but has everything to do with sort of internal policies as it relates to using third-party tools like this. One more thing I just remembered. I want to talk for a minute about compliance, everyone's favorite topic. So let me share my screen one more time. Bear with me, and then I'm going to give you a few minutes back here. So we are SOC 2 and GDPR compliant. Our data is stored in AWS Ireland. We do not train on your data. We do not store your data that you're using to review contracts with. And all of our data policies are at our trust center, which is trust.simpledocs.com. And we're very happy to run through this. So if you're sort of saying, hey, Preston, this looks good, we want to test it out, but we have some questions, like send us those questions, send us that AI task force, 12-page questionnaire, and we will complete it for you and make it easy for you to get this approved. But we do this for large publicly traded companies, for financial institutions, for very, very regulated industries. So I trust that we can get through that part of the process with you as needed. And I was going to say one more thing about this. We will be SOC 2 Type 2 approved at the end of this month. We're going through our audit now, and it is almost wrapped up. So we can provide pen tests and other documentation about that. On the pricing side, this is available on our website. So I have it in slide form, but I'll just go um, here, simpledocs.com, pricing. It's all here. It's 150 per month, and you can purchase on a monthly basis. You can, you can buy one seat, you can buy 10 seats, but let us know what you need on that. We do provide dedicated customer support. So if you would like help building out your playbooks, converting your playbooks as they exist today into something that is AI ready, we will help you do that. Eventually, you will be better at it than we are because we want you to sort of take that level of ownership over it, the same way you would your own sort of Excel-based playbooks. But in the beginning, we're happy to do some of that heavy lifting. Okay, I think that is the bulk of what I wanted to share. Um, I see Peter Preston. Will one still need a separate CLM, or is SimpleDocs going to provide such functionality? So yeah, we are a full CLM, and workflow automation, repository, access rules, advanced integrations, Salesforce, Slack, Teams, alerts. So anything that you can think of that sort of falls within the umbrella of CLM, we do. But what's different about us is that we don't require you to purchase from us in any particular way. And so we unbundle. So SimpleAI can be purchased unbundled, where it's just an AI tool, but if you want that integrated into something where we're also your repository, then you can sort of upgrade to that. So we make it easy to sort of build up rather than sort of overselling you one big enterprise package that takes you 18 months to implement, and typically comes with a lot of headaches. So Simple Docs is the name is intentional. Simple is in our name. So that is it. I provided those links in the chat. If you didn't see them, take a look before I close this out. The first link shows you the back end, so you can see playbooks, you can see workflow automation. The second link is to our product page for Simple AI. There's some good tutorial videos there. Um, and then the App Store, if you're not familiar with Word add-ins, you've never downloaded one before, that'll take you directly to it. And then you can email us. You can email me. You can email support@simpledocs.com or Preston@simpledocs.com directly, and we'll get your questions answered. Um, and that is it. Thanks, Rosario. Thanks, Christina. Thanks, Peter. Thanks, everyone who engaged today. And send me a note if you have more questions. We'll see you soon. Bye.